All right, so we're really excited, obviously, to see how this big three kind of comes together. But he was asked specifically about playing with Devin Booker and the dynamic between the two of them. Here's what he said.
I mean, pretty much probably what you said. I mean, obviously we're going to ask this guy what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be playing. But I see it as being free flowing. Like, I don't think either of us really have a position. Like, he can create, he can facilitate, he can shoot the ball, he can score the ball. And I could do the same, So it's not going to be a who plays point, who plays shooting guard. I think it's an interchangeable thing, and whoever gets it goes.
People want to play with Devin Booker. I mean, I don't know how many more times we can say it.
Yeah.
Like, people want to come play with Devin Booker because he has evolved his game to more than just a scorer, and I think that's the dynamic about Devin Booker that I think gets overlooked the most, especially in this last year. You see him, just develop his game, being able to facilitate the point book thing before. I mean, let's be honest, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, point book was like, okay, maybe in spurts. Now, at least from my perspective, I'm comfortable with it. Like, go ahead, do what you got to do. If Bradley Beal and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are going to kind of man this point guard position as a trio, I'm here for it. And I think in today's day and age, when we're talking about positionless basketball, like, this is going to prove that can work, because Devin Booker is not, quote unquote, a point guard. Neither is Bradley Beal. Neither is Kevin Durant. But I bet you it's going to work, because those three guys just have such a high IQ for the game that they're going to be able to facilitate to whoever needs the ball the most and make the right decisions. And we've seen Devin Booker do it time and time again. I'm absolutely happy with this.
So you mean point book with Isaiah Kanan and Josh Jackson and Dragan Bender
and Shaq Harrison.
Yeah.
You always gotta throw him on the
That was sweet.
I'm not saying he's bad. He was on the team.
But you're saying the point book looks worse when he's with those guys than with KD, Bradley Beal, and DA? I mean, yeah. Point book looked like crap at times because he had crap around. You can't distribute and look good when these guys can't make shots. Now you're around guys that are going to hit him at a high clip, and all of a sudden, point book can look good because he's got weapons to dish it to.
Because we're not asking him to run the point, a.k.a. do everything for us.
You don't have to be Superman.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this all works out. I think a lot of people are going to learn that Bradley Beal is kind of developed into an underrated playmaker in Washington, kind of similar to Book, not to that extent, but he hasn't had as much talent around him these last couple of years, but he has worked on that in his game. And we were talking about the catch and shoot thing. Like, Beal's a 40% catch and shoot guy last year on 2 attempts. Booker was 44.4% on 2 attempts. KD was like 43% on like 4 attempts. So these guys are all interchangeable in that way. So it's not just going to be on Book to do that. Like he was saying, it's going to come down to who has the position to attack, who's on the backside, who's one pass away. And it's going to be really fun to see how they're able to mix and match in their offense like that.
I'm really curious to see what portion of Monty's offensive scheme is still retained with Kevin Young in the fold. I'm going to assume it's going to be a significant portion just because that's what he knows. And he's probably going to add some things to it, obviously. But I went through some of the playbook that Monty had and the Suns have had for the last couple of years. And some of their options, like especially like the Spain and some of the other ATOs, I mean, phenomenal. Like it got me so excited to see the different options. And at that time, like some of these examples that I had in this folder were like Shamet replacing Book because Book was injured that game, and so watching him get a wide open shot, but he wasn't making it. Sorry, Shamet.
Hey, he made it 36% of the time.
He doesn't even go here.
But like, there's just so much flexibility when you have these three kind of guys that are in this lineup. Sorry, Shamet. I'm sorry, Landry. You deserve better.
Bro,
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
You called somebody the Landry Shamet of the Diamondbacks.
I did
yesterday.
not. That was everybody else.
Oh, you agreed.
Everybody else was saying
you
that.
Agreed.
Well, I laughed at it. I was like, oh, damn. That's not a moniker you really want.
You know what? Vogel mentioned pace today, though, too. And I like the idea of this team operating faster than they have. I mean, with Chris Paul, there's a slowness to that offense. I mean, when your point guard loves to roll the ball up court before he picks it up, it slows things down a bit, right? I think this team is going to play much faster, which should be much more entertaining too.
Well, let's hear what Frank Vogel had to say about how they intend on playing.
Yeah, we want to play with pace. So we're going to have a multiple ball handler attack in most possessions. But I love the fact that both Bradley and Devin have played point at phases of their career and can initiate offense, as can KD. And we also want to see how the rest of the roster shakes out. To see if we add a point guard, campaign will be in the mix. All those decisions will play out in camp. But we're going to play with pace and have a multiple ball handler attack.